couple of weeks ago, I unboxed the Razer Blade 15 Advanced here for 2020 and super impressed with the build quality, super impressed with the specs, but I wanted to see everyday use, how it would handle all the tasks I throw at it, whether it be gaming, video editing, overall performance. I wanted to test battery life, thermals, you name it. I tested it. Now I have the 4K OLED model, but there's also a 300 Hertz Full HD IPS model that you can get as well. We'll get into this and more in this full review. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is my review of the Razer Blade 15 Advanced here for 2020. Coming up. Want to see more videos like this? Why not hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell? This way you'll be alerted every time I upload a new video. Make sure you follow me on my social media, especially Twitter and Instagram. I post a lot of updates on those platforms. And why not check out our Discord server? It's a great place for us to hang out and talk tech. And let's not forget that today's video is brought to you by all the members who contributed this month to the channel. Want to become a member? Hit that join button below. And in the interest of transparency and full disclosure, I'm not being paid by Razer, I'm not being sponsored by Razer. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own, and no one is seeing this video before its release. This review unit is on loan from Razer, and once this review is done, I'll be sending it back. Okay, let's talk price. And one thing you have to note, these are premium laptops, of course, and they're going to be priced accordingly. They're going to be competitive with things like the Apple MacBook Pro 16, the Dell XPS 17, and so forth. So what we're looking at here is a starting price of $25.99 for the Razer Blade 15 Advanced model. The price here today for my review unit comes in at $3,299 US. Yeah, it's not cheap, but then again, this is a premium laptop, and they do go on sale quite a bit. So check the link below for the latest pricing. I know Prime Day had the 300 Hertz model with that full HD display on sale yesterday for $2,000. That was about $600 off. Now, if you were lucky enough to pick one up, that's great. If not, just keep your eye on the link below. I'll put the latest pricing, of course, in the link below. And for those wondering, here's a chart to show you the differences between the base and the advanced models. And at that price point, you're expecting top-notch build, and it doesn't disappoint. It's an all-metal build with a premium high-end feel and look. And of course, it is a major fingerprint magnet. You will be wiping it down because of its black exterior, which does show quite a bit of fingerprint, so keep that in mind. But as far as the weight, as far as the thinness, it is a very thin and light laptop for a 15.6-inch laptop, 4.85 pounds or 2.2 kilograms. Definitely portable enough to take with you on the go. I went over the ports in my unboxing video, but for those that didn't see it, on the left side is your power port, 2 USB-A ports, and a Thunderbolt 3 port, and a 3.5mm audio jack to round out the left side. Moving over to the right side, you get a full-size SD card reader, which I love to see, another USB-C port, and then you do get a USB-A and an HDMI port, and a Kensington lock port. That's it. Pretty good port selection. Okay, let's talk about the display. What we're looking at here is an OLED display that is simply spectacular. Resolution of 3840 by 2160. That's a 16:9 aspect ratio. It also gets very bright at 405 nits, good for both indoor and outdoor use. It doesn't show a lot of reflections or glare, and that is good, of course. And this being an OLED display, you get those really deep blacks, the excellent contrast, and really vibrant colors that really pop off the display that make it something special. It also has great white points. It also has very good coverage of the color gamut. You're looking at 100% of sRGB, 95% Adobe RGB, 98% of the DCI P3 wide color gamut, 93% NTSC, making this an excellent choice for content creators to do Lightroom, Photoshop, and of course, video editing. And it's also a touch display, very responsive, makes it easy to navigate through Windows 10. I love it. Now, for those gamers out there that want a really great gaming experience, you might want to opt for that 300 Hertz IPS display. It is pretty spectacular as well. And when it comes to gaming, this is obviously more than capable thanks to that 10th generation Core i7 10875H with its 8 cores and the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Super with Max-Q and 8 gigabytes of video memory. As you can see, 1080p, high settings, you get very playable frame rates on AAA titles. And of course, it's a great general purpose laptop. As you can see, the PC Mark X did really well. That's a good indicator of everyday use. Very impressive performance, of course, with the benchmarks here. I would expect nothing less from this CPU and GPU combo. Doing things such as Microsoft Office, email, web browsing, video editing, 4K video editing, all worked well. Now, as you can see, it did very similar to the Dell XPS 17 9700 that I recently reviewed as far as the video rendering test. Although the Dell had 32 gigabytes of RAM, this has 16 gigabytes of RAM. That might account for the slight difference. And when it comes to thermals, the good news is it stayed relatively cool, maintaining a clock speed of anywhere from 2.1 to 2.4 gigahertz, never getting above 78 degrees Celsius as far as the core temperature. The GPU clock speeds would drop from 1500 to 1700 megahertz to about 1100 to 1200 megahertz range during my stress test. That's been pretty good. And the surface temperatures were actually pretty good, although when you put this laptop under heavy load, it can warm up on the bottom, as you can see from these results. And as far as fan noise is concerned, reasonably quiet when it comes to gaming, so not too much of a distraction. That is good news on that front. And of course, having such a bright OLED display will take its toll on battery life. It has an 80 watt-hour battery, and it did 4 hours and 53 minutes on my continuous web surfing test over Wi-Fi at 150 nits. The full HD 300 nits, you'll get over 6 hours, which will obviously be a lot better than the OLED version. So if you need longevity, look at the full HD options. And they do give you a pretty robust 230 watt power supply in the box. It uses Razer's own proprietary connection, and it took less than 2 hours for a full charge. Not too bad. So this is the front-facing camera on the Razer Blade 15 Advanced, and here for 2020, and it's a 720p 30 frames per second webcam. It's an infrared webcam on this model, meaning you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. I'm curious to know what you think about it. Let me know in the comments section below. Okay, let's talk about user upgradeability. To get inside this laptop, just remove the T5 Torx screws, pop off the bottom plate, and you're in. Now, once inside, you'll notice the dual fans for cooling, that 80 watt-hour battery that we just discussed, and it also has a 1 terabyte SSD drive. It's an M.2 NVMe SSD drive that is user replaceable if you want to expand the storage. Now, it has dual channel RAM. There are 2 8 gigabyte sticks for a total of 16 gigabytes on my review unit, but of course, you could expand that out if you so choose. It also has Wi-Fi 6 with a Bluetooth 5.1 combo that is also slotted in, so that means down the road it is also user upgradable. That's always good. And it worked well on both fronts. Now, one thing of note, there is no second slot for any additional SSD storage, so you'll have that one slot for that expandability. Some people may not like that, but that's something to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to the keyboard, I actually like it, although some people might not like the key travel. It's a bit on the shallow side, but it does give you good tactile feedback, and you feel like your fingers are not going to bottom out, so that's been pretty good. It also has that Razer Synapse 3 enabled keyboard with the programmable colors that you can light it up in the different colors. Of course, you have a lot of control in that application, so that is something if you like to have, it's there. And it has a glass precision touchpad, which is of course very responsive. It has a decent size to it. 2-finger scrolling worked well. All the Windows 10 gestures worked as well. Now, when it comes to the sound, there are 2 top-facing speakers, as you can see here, and I would say they were okay. They're not the best I've ever heard. The Dell XPS 17 certainly has better speakers, although this is definitely above average. I'd like to see an improvement on the next iteration, but as far as the sound, it'll definitely get the job done. So to wrap it all up, can I recommend the Razer Blade 15 Advanced here for 2020? And the answer is an absolute yes. Love the 15.6-inch OLED touch display. It's bright, it's sharp, it's everything you'd want. You can go with that 300 hertz option with a matte full HD panel if you are really into gaming and you want that higher refresh rate. That is an option, and I like that. The GeForce RTX 2080 Super with Max Q can play AAA games with playable frame rates. You gotta love that. Full-size SD card reader. Battery can be charged via the USB-C, so that's always good. Good cooling on this thanks to that vapor chamber cooling. You saw the results. I actually liked it. No space for a secondary storage. Average audio out of the speakers. The 4K OLED will certainly give the battery life a hit, and then therefore you may want to consider that full AC option, and it can get very expensive. But if you're into gaming and if you're into a laptop that you can take with you on the go that doesn't really compromise in any way, this is definitely the one to go with, and it's definitely a recommend by me. I'm going to give this a score of 90%, making the Razer Blade 15 Advanced for 2020 Definitely worth your money. So what do you think about this bad boy, the Razer Blade 15 Advanced? Love the build quality. Obviously, all metal design. It is a major fingerprint magnet. You will be wiping it down. That's thanks to that metal exterior, the black exterior, which picks up fingerprints quite a bit. Really good port selection. Excellent OLED display. If you want a 4K touch panel and you're a content creator, this is it. This is the one to go with because this will cover the color gamut 100%. It really did well in terms of sRGB, the DCI P3 wide color gamut, NTSC, Adobe, it did really well. So if you want to do content creation like video editing, Photoshop, Lightroom, this is a great display. Now, if you're a gamer, you may want to opt for that 300 hertz Full HD matte display. That might be a better choice. Again, if gaming is your central concern, if that's the main thing you're going to do with this. And speaking of gaming, it definitely gets playable frame rates. I found the sweet spot to be 1080p, high settings, AAA titles will definitely get playable frame rates as you saw from the numbers. So this is a very versatile machine. It's a very premium design, great for Microsoft Office, email, web browsing. So for everyday use, this is a great general purpose laptop. Now, some people might not like the triple-headed snake and maybe too garish. For a business meeting, I actually don't mind it. I think it looks really cool. Not over the top, but definitely sleek looking in my opinion. But I'm curious to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. Of course, this is not an inexpensive proposition. It comes in over $3,000. Right now, you can pick this up for about $3,200 as far as the review unit is concerned. But you can get cheaper options. They have the base model, which starts at around $1,500. The advanced model starts around $2,400, $2,500. But they are running sales, and you will notice price fluctuations every now and then. I will put the latest pricing in the link below. But I definitely think it's a worthwhile premium laptop if you want to be able to game, if you want to do video editing, you want to do content creation. This display definitely can get the job done. The horsepower, thanks to the RTX 2080 Super with Max Q, the Core i7-10875H, that 8-core 10th generation Intel processor, definitely is a great combination in terms of power and performance. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course my website, amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.